What if everything you've ever known about reality, your thoughts, your emotions, your entire life was just the first layer of a much deeper truth? Imagine waking up one day and realizing the world you've been living in is like a single room in a massive, infinite mansion. Most of us spend our entire lives pacing that one room, never even noticing the door to the next one. But what if I told you there's a way to walk through that door? A way to move beyond fear, stress, and survival into a state of clarity, connection, and ultimate freedom? Today, we're diving into the 6 stages of consciousness, a map of how your awareness evolves from primal instincts to something so profound it can change the way you experience life itself. This isn't just philosophy or spirituality. It's a journey backed by science, psychology, and the wisdom of the greatest minds in history. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly where you are on this map, what's holding you back, and how to take the next step toward a life of purpose and freedom. So let's get started, because the moment you see the bigger picture, you'll never look at life the same way again. Let's start with a question. Have you ever felt stuck? Like no matter how hard you try, you keep circling the same pattern: stress at work, anxiety in relationships, or this nagging sense that something's missing? Maybe you've had moments of clarity, those fleeting glimpses of peace or purpose, but then life pulls you back into the grind. Why does that happen? Why do we feel trapped in cycles of reaction, chasing desires, or running from fears, even when we know there's more to life? The answer is consciousness. Most of us are living in what I call survival consciousness, the first stage of awareness. It's like being on autopilot, driven by instincts, emotions, and habits we don't even question. Think about it. When was the last time you got mad and snapped at someone, only to regret it later? Or felt paralyzed by fear before a big decision? That's survival consciousness at work. It's not your fault, it's how we're wired. But here's the kicker. It's only the first stage. There are 5 more, and each one unlocks a new way of seeing, feeling, and living. The 6 stages of consciousness aren't just a theory, they're a roadmap for waking up. They show you how to move from reacting to life like a programmed machine to co-creating it like an artist. From survival to self-awareness, from connection to cosmic unity, and finally to a state of non-dual freedom where the boundaries between you and the universe dissolve. This journey isn't about escaping life, it's about integrating every part of it, from your darkest fears to your highest dreams, into something meaningful. And here's why this matters. Every stage you climb brings you closer to inner peace, clarity, and the kind of freedom that no external circumstance can take away. But if you stay stuck in survival mode, you're like a bird in a cage, flapping your wings but never soaring. So, let's ask ourselves, where am I right now? And more importantly, where do I want to go? Pause for a second and think, what's one moment in your life where you felt truly alive, like you were connected to something bigger? Maybe it was a quiet moment in nature, a deep conversation, or even a random spark of intuition. Drop that moment in the comments below. I'd love to hear your story, and it'll help us connect as we dive deeper into this journey together. If this is resonating with you already, do me a favor, hit that like button to let me know you're with me. And if you're new here, smash that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss the next steps of this journey. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it, maybe a friend who's been feeling stuck or searching for answers. Let's build a community of people waking up together. All right, let's keep going. Let's walk through the 6 stages of consciousness one by one. Each stage is like a new lens through which you see the world, and as you move up, life becomes less about struggle and more about flow. I'll weave in science, philosophy, and real-life examples to make this crystal clear, so stick with me. Stage 1. Survival consciousness. This is where most people start and where many stay. Survival consciousness is primal. It's the part of you that's wired to eat, sleep, fight, or flee. Think of it as your inner caveman, always scanning for threats or rewards. When you're in this stage, life feels like a constant reaction. You're chasing pleasure, like binge-watching Netflix or craving that dopamine hit from social media, or avoiding pain, like procrastinating on a tough conversation. Neuroscience backs this up. Your amygdala, the brain's fear center, is on high alert in survival mode, pumping out stress hormones like cortisol. A 2018 study from Stanford showed that chronic stress keeps us locked in this reactive state, shrinking the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for planning and self-control. Picture this. You're stuck in traffic, late for a meeting. Your heart's racing. You're gripping the wheel, maybe even cursing under your breath. That's survival consciousness. It's not Ute, it's your brain hijacking your awareness, telling you this moment is a life or death crisis. Most of us live huge chunks of our lives here without even realizing it. The way out is awareness. Start noticing when you're reacting instead of responding. Try this. Next time you feel stressed, pause and take 3 deep breaths. Inhale for 4 seconds. Hold for 4. Exhale for 4. This simple act calms your nervous system and creates space for the next stage. Stage 2. Self-consciousness. Here's where things get interesting. In stage 2, you start to see yourself. You're not just reacting, you're reflecting. You ask questions like, why do I keep getting angry? Or, what do I really want? This is the birth of self-awareness, and it's a game changer. The Greek philosopher Socrates said, know thyself. That's stage 2 in a nutshell. You're no longer just a bundle of instincts. You're a person with thoughts, feelings, and a story. But here's the catch. This stage can also trap you in overthinking or self-criticism. You might obsess over your flaws or compare yourself to others. I remember a time when I was obsessed with fixing myself. I'd journal endlessly, analyzing every mistake, thinking if I could just figure out why I was anxious, I'd be free. Spoiler, that's not how it works. Self-consciousness is a step forward, but it's still a cage if you get stuck in your head. Practice mindfulness. Spend 5 minutes a day observing your thoughts without judgment. Apps like Headspace or simple guided meditations can help. The goal is to become the witness of your mind, not its prisoner. This sets the stage for stage 3. Stage 3, social consciousness. Now you zoom out. Stage 3 is about connection, realizing you're not an island, but part of a web of relationships. You start caring about others, not just yourself. Empathy kicks in, and you see how your actions ripple out to your family, friends, or even strangers. Mirror neurons in your brain light up when you empathize with someone. A 2020 study from UCLA found that acts of kindness like helping a friend or volunteering boost serotonin and oxytocin, making you feel more connected and purposeful. Think of a time you helped someone without expecting anything in return. Maybe you listened to a friend vent or gave a stranger directions. That warm feeling you got? That's social consciousness. It's the moment you realize life isn't just about you. Actively practice gratitude for the people in your life. Write a quick note to someone you appreciate, or do one small act of kindness daily. These actions expand your awareness beyond yourself, opening the door to stage 4. Stage 4, cosmic consciousness. This is where things get wild. In stage 4, you sense that you're part of something much bigger, a universal intelligence, a cosmic dance. You start noticing synchronicities. Yep, those meaningful coincidences we've talked about before. Life feels less random and more like a conversation with the universe. Quantum physics hints at this. The observer effect, where particles change behavior when observed, suggests consciousness isn't just in your head, it's interacting with reality. Nobel laureate Max Planck once said, "I regard consciousness as fundamental. I regard matter as derivative from consciousness." That's stage 4 thinking. A few years ago, I was at a crossroads, unsure if I should quit my job. One night, I asked for a sign. The next day, I overheard a stranger say, "Sometimes you have to leap before you see the net." Later, A book fell off a shelf, opened to a page about trusting the unknown. Then my phone buzzed with a job offer I hadn't applied for. Coincidence? Maybe. But it felt like the universe was shouting, "Go for it!" That's cosmic consciousness when you feel reality responding to you. Start a synchronicity journal. Write down any coincidences or gut feelings for a week. Look for patterns. Also, spend time in naturates, a shortcut to feeling connected to the bigger picture. This primes you for Stage 5. Stage 5, Unity Consciousness. Stage 5 is where the walls come down. You no longer see yourself as separate from others or the universe. It's not just, "we're all connected" as a cute idea. It's a felt reality. You experience love, compassion, and a sense of oneness that transcends words. Mystics like Rumi and Lao Tzu lived in this stage. Rumi wrote, "Beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there." That field is unity consciousness, a place where duality, me versus you, good versus bad, starts to dissolve. Have you ever been in a moment where time seemed to stop? Maybe during meditation, a deep conversation, or even watching a sunset. You felt like you were the moment, not separate from it. That's a glimpse of Stage 5. Deepen your meditation practice. Try guided visualizations, where you imagine merging with the universe or sending love to all beings. Also, practice forgiveness, not just for others, but for yourself. Letting go of grudges clears the path to oneness. Stage 6. Non-dual consciousness. This is the pinnacle true freedom. In Stage 6, there's no you or universe anymore. There's just being. The self dissolves, and with it, all fear, desire, and separation. This is what spiritual traditions call enlightenment, nirvana, or liberation. Neuroscientists studying advanced meditators, like those at Harvard's Mind-Body Institute, found that in deep meditative states, the brain's default mode network, the part tied to the ego, quiets down. The result? A sense of boundless awareness, untouched by personal identity. I've never fully reached Stage 6, but I've had moments that brushed against it. Once, during a silent retreat, I sat by a river for hours. My thoughts stopped. My sense of me faded. There was just the sound of water, the warmth of the sun, and a peace so deep it felt eternal. It lasted only a few minutes, but it changed me. I realized freedom isn't out there, it's what you already are. Non-dual consciousness isn't something you achieve. It's a state you return to through surrender. Daily meditation, self-inquiry, asking, "Who am I?" and letting go of attachments keep you aligned with this truth. Here's a challenge. Pick one practice from the stage you're closest to and try it for a week. Maybe it's deep breathing for Stage 1, journaling for Stage 2, or a gratitude practice for Stage 3. Share your results in the comments. I'm rooting for you. Let's get real. If you stay in survival consciousness or even self-consciousness, you're signing up for a life of struggle. You'll keep reacting to the same triggers, chasing the same fleeting highs, and wondering why nothing changes. Chronic stress, burnout, and fractured relationships are the price of staying asleep. A 2021 study from the American Psychological Association found that 80% of adults report feeling overwhelmed by stress most days. That's survival consciousness running the show. Worse, you'll miss the magic. You'll walk past synchronicities, ignore your intuition, and feel disconnected from your purpose. Life will feel like a treadmill, lots of effort, no progress. You'll sense there's more to life, but never know how to reach it. That's not just a missed opportunity, it's a tragedy. Now imagine the opposite. As you move through the stages, life transforms. In Stage 2, you gain clarity and confidence, making choices that align with your true self. In Stage 3, your relationships deepen, and you feel part of a community. By Stage 4, you're in flow, guided by signs and intuition. Stage 5 brings a love so expansive it heals old wounds. And Stage 6? That's freedom, the kind that no job, relationship, or circumstance can give or take away. A 2019 study from UC Berkeley found that practices like meditation and gratitude, key to higher stages, increase activity in the prefrontal cortex, boosting decision-making and emotional regulation. Another study from Yale showed that people who feel connected to a larger purpose report 40% higher life satisfaction. This isn't woo-what's your brain and body rewiring for a better life. Let me share a story. A friend of mine, Sarah, was stuck in survival mode for years. She worked a soul-crushing job, battled anxiety, and felt like life was slipping away. One day, she started journaling, Stage 2. She noticed her triggers and began meditating, Stage 3. Over time, she felt drawn to a new career in coaching, Stage 4. Last year, she told me about a moment during a retreat where she felt completely at peace, like she was one with everything, Stage 5. Sarah's not enlightened, but she's free in a way she never thought possible. That's the power of this journey. You don't have to leap to Stage 6 overnight. Start where you are. If you're in survival mode, try breathing exercises. If you're self-conscious, journal. If you're ready for cosmic consciousness, look for synchronicities. Every step counts. The universe isn't waiting for you to be perfect, it's waiting for you to show up. If this video hit home, please hit that like button and drop a 111 in the comments to signal you're ready for your next step. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next part of this journey. Share this with someone who needs a wake-up call. Spread this map to freedom. And check out the free newsletter linked below for more tools to keep your consciousness expanding. Today we've explored the 6 stages of consciousness, from survival to non-dual freedom. We've seen how your brain, your energy, and the universe itself are all part of this journey. Survival consciousness keeps you reacting. Self-consciousness helps you reflect. Social consciousness connects you to others. Cosmic consciousness reveals the bigger picture. Unity consciousness dissolves separation. And non-dual consciousness? That's the ultimate freedom, where you realize you are the universe. Here's a simple practice to start today. Spend 5 minutes each morning in silence. No phone, no distractions. Just breathe and notice what comes up. It could be a thought, a feeling, or even a synchronicity. This tiny habit opens the door to higher awareness. If you love this, check out my next video on how to spot synchronicities and use them to manifest. It's a deep dive into Stage 4 and beyond. Links in the description. Thank you for being here. This journey isn't always easy, but it's worth it. You're not just watching a video, you're waking up to who you really are. Drop your thoughts or your craziest consciousness story in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, keep climbing, keep questioning, and keep trusting the path. Peace.